Hey, this is Pastor Steele. We're so glad you tuned in to another edition of Still Strong Podcast. I'm sitting here with my three sons.
What up, everybody? I'm Isaiah Steele.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Isaac Steele.
What's good is Irish Steele.
Well, listen, we got some great topics I know you're going to be pleased with on today, so we're going to get this thing popping.
Yeah, first things first. Steelers play Rams on Sunday in L.A. What are y'all thoughts on it? I know right now the Rams they're kind of trying to find their identity, and so are we. I feel like we're low-key pretty evenly matched. What are y'all thinking?
I think that we can pull it off. I think, obviously, I'm going to be biased because I'm a Steelers fan, obviously. So I think it doesn't matter if we playing the Niners or anybody. We got a chance, even though the Niners blew us out week one.
Yeah.
But I definitely think we can go. We're going into L.A., aren't we?
In L.A.
Yeah, I think we definitely got a shot. We got some momentum. We obviously we won. We beat the Ravens, which we shouldn't have beat.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you a lot of times it doesn't matter if you're the best team on paper.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to go out there and grind and work hard and leave it all out there on the field. And we definitely did that on last couple of weeks ago. We had a lot of good breaks because we saw a lot of drop balls.
Yeah, 8 drop
balls.
Ravens. I was like,
3 drop touchdowns.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And it's crazy. I was in service, and somebody came up to me right after the 9 o'clock service. They're like, yeah, your team's losing 10-0. And then by the time we did the next service at 11, when I was getting out of the pulpit, somebody walked up to me and said, you guys are winning.
Crazy.
So it just goes to show you it's not how you start.
It's how you finish,
It's
man.
how you finish.
It's
So,
how you finish.
and we're just coming off a bye week, so hopefully everybody's healthy. But no, I think we got a really good shot to go into L.A. and win the game. Like you said, they're still trying to kind of find themselves.
For sure.
It seemed like after they won that Super Bowl, things just kind of went downhill from there.
They put all the eggs in
they
one
had a
basket.
horrible year last year.
They put all their chips in when they won the Super Bowl because they had Odell Beckham, they had Von Miller.
Yep.
Paid a whole bunch of guys to come in and do the job. But I think we have the Rams number this week. We were just in Vegas at the Steelers Raiders game. One thing about the LA Rams, them being new to LA, they don't have that core fan base, so it's going to be black and yellow all over the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
definitely a home game.
It is. It really is going to be a home game
Yeah.
for us. So between the environment, between us getting a bye, a team like us, we're Steelers. We pride ourselves on coaching and organization. Besides the whole Matt Canada offense coordinator stuff.
Man, that guy.
But when it comes down to how we move, us having 2 weeks or a bye week to prepare, a bye week and a whole other week to prepare for a team, we have a lot of leverage when it comes to that. And the Rams are definitely in a interesting position. They're 3-3, 500. They beat the Cardinals last week. They kind of look like. They look weird, honestly, because they have Stafford, Donald. You have the veteran presence, but you also Cup. You have the veteran guys, but you also have guys like Puka Nacua, the receiver coming along. You got a young receiver that's looking like a star. You got young DB, and don't know his name, but I saw a thing. They graded him as one of the top rated corners.
Oh, nice.
So they have young stars, but also veteran presence. So they have both best of both worlds. They're clearly not a Super Bowl team, but they're a team that can just. You can't sleep on them.
There's a scrappy team.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to win, too, because we got Deontay Johnson coming back as well.
Yeah, that's
another
gonna
receiver
help.
threat, and it's going to open up more room for George Pickens.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really
Exactly.
excited about, because they're going to be focused on him because he's just getting back.
Sure.
But we have that big receiver, and we got the finesse receiver who's going to get open. And we're going to be good. I think Freiermuth is coming back as well.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
I really just want to see us start fast. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like every game this year has been from behind.
Yep.
Every time I'm in church and check my score app, we down by 7, we down by 10, we down by 9. Like it's always been, that's kind of been our MO, if you will. So to see us go down, if we get the ball, let's actually go down and score, on the opening drive.
Yeah.
Let's get some points. I want to see Boswell kicking the hell out the ball. Let's get threes, something.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Rams game is low-key a trap game for us. If we don't go out there and play, Aaron Donald and them boys, they'll hand us an
It's
L.
like that Houston game. That was a big trap game. I don't know how we let that slip
That's
out.
silly.
That was crazy.
That's
That
still
was
silly.
hurtful. So hopefully we can come out this Sunday 4-2.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
That'd be nice.
Sitting at 4-2 would be straight, and then go from there. I think think Jacksonville's after that. We played the Jags,
And then
but
the Titans.
And then the Titans. Trevor Lawrence is kind of banged up right now. They're saying that they don't even know if he's going
They're
to
saying
play.
he's getting time decision today. He's just going to warm. He's just going to warm up today. Yeah, for the
See how he feels.
See what happens.
So I mean, we can see.
that.
We can see. We ain't never plan on nobody's downfall.
No.
But I mean,
Right.
if they ain't gonna play, that's cool too.
Hey, starting
that's a
quarterback
dub.
play.
Speaking of play, man, Caleb Williams, my guy from USC, came out this week and said some interesting things. Said that any team that drafts him in this upcoming draft, because we all know he's a for sure #1 pick.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because of his talent, his arm skill level, he's literally Patrick Mahomes reincarnated, in my opinion. But he came out this week and said that he would like partial ownership of whatever team ends up drafting him. What do y'all think about that thought process, if you will?
And, I'm a big Caleb Williams fan. I've liked him, even when he was a true freshman at Oklahoma. Of course, that's where he started his career. Love what he's been able to bring to the field. But I just think I'm going to have to take a page out of Mike Tyson's book. I think that's ludicrous.
Ludicrous.
Yeah.
I was thinking Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I think that's just over the top. Romans 12:3 says to not think more highly of yourself than you ought to.
Sure.
I think you need to just play the game. All this, you're making $7-8 million playing college ball, which I have no problem with that.
Right.
I've been for years an advocate that college players should get paid because the coaches are getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. You got guys like, Nick Saban making, 8, 9, 10 million a year.
Right.
With endorsements, probably maybe even making more than that. So I'm grateful that these kids are getting paid, now, but let's calm down. I think that at the end of the day, you need whoever drafts you, that's where you need to go, unless you can make a trade or whatever. But all this, I want a stake in ownership. Again, ludicrous.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, even that thinking in itself is kind of wild. When I heard it, I didn't believe it. Then when I saw like ESPN reported it, I don't know if it's like his mom and dad in his head, or maybe he's already talking to some agents or whatever. But like, here's the thing too: if you put ownership, if you give a guy ownership just because you drafted him, right? What happens when he gets traded in 4 or 5 years?
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to consider all those factors.
Does he still own the Commanders, even though now he
right.
plays for the Broncos?
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of red tape that kind of goes into. Now does the next team that gets you, now they got to give you ownership too?
Right.
And then when you retire, you partial owner of 4 teams. Like,
Well, it's like Andrew Luck. What if you have an Andrew Luck situation where your career gets cut short at 29, 28 because of injuries?
Right.
Like there's a lot of factors to it. Because
That's true.
I guess last year when Aaron Rodgers signed with the New York Jets, he was trying to get stake in the franchise.
Wow.
And that was his thing when he was his free agency tour. He was trying to get some shares for the team. And I guess the NFL stepped in last year and said that you can't do that.
Right.
They're trying
That's
to say-
crazy because Aaron Rodgers got skin in the game for sure.
He does,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
that's Aaron
But
Rodgers.
look what happened. He lasted 4 plays,
play-
3
3
plays.
3 plays
Man.
right out. You
And,
see, imagine if they gave him shares in the Jets for him to, him being almost 40 years old with an Achilles injury, he could be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to sit on his retirement, and, sit on his ownership. But no. So seeing Caleb Williams coming out and asking for that stakes franchise is crazy. I'm
That's
sorry.
wild.
And I like
this
Caleb
morning.
Williams.
This morning I was for it, but now hearing y'all saying all this, I'm like, okay, ain't no team gonna do that.
well, I
Ain't
believe
nobody
even
gonna
you
do that.
you have not because you asked not.
Yeah.
But like
Right.
that's a big ask.
That's a
you
big
know what I'm
ask.
saying?
That
Like
is.
that's,
And you ain't proved yourself yet.
Right.
They didn't give you no franchise tag. They
Right.
didn't sign you or nothing.
That's
like
what I'm
that.
saying.
So
You
it's
haven't even
like,
been
all right.
drafted. You haven't gone through the combine process.
right.
Like you haven't done any of that stuff. So why would I? If I'm an owner or if I'm a GM and I hear that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. To be honest,
If I'm the owner, I'm gonna tell Caleb Williams' dad, man, lose my number.
Right.
You calling me talking about some ownership of the team, bro? Your son
Right.
has not even. You can't beat Notre Dame, bro. I'm sorry.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
He's had a bad
Yeah.
week. Like, I'm
Spitting
saying,
facts.
like,
Lost to Tulane.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
saying, like
Yeah.
you haven't thrown a professional ball yet. And
Right.
You're gonna ask for a
Right.
stake in a
and it's
franchise.
Right.
and it's
right.
really bad timing, like you just said. It's really bad timing for him to even throw that out there because, like you just said, bro, Notre Dame, that game last week was brutal.
threw 3
man.
picks.
He threw 3 interceptions. It was by far his worst game of his career, and it kind of brought him. That situation there should bring him back down to earth, like
Yeah.
Because I walked out of that game thinking, oh wow, he is a human being. Like,
Right,
because
right.
before that, man,
Well, he didn't make no
Caleb-
mistakes, really, dude.
We'd be
Yeah.
down 2 touchdowns. I'm like, oh, that's
Right.
cool. Caleb bring
Yep.
us back.
Yeah.
Like when we were down 2 weeks ago to U of A, 17-0.
Yeah.
I didn't bat an eye. I'm like, man, we got Caleb. We straight. And
Yep.
we ended up winning that game.
Sure.
But to see what happened this past Saturday, I'm just like, I was a little shook. And then this
Yeah.
ownership situation comes out. It's just really bad timing.
And I'm all for player empowerment. You know, I love the fact that the NIL deal,
Sure.
you know, is giving even these men opportunity to even have conversations like this. Because
Yeah.
7 years ago, there wasn't no conversation about a player going into the league having
Not
some
even
type
a
of
little bit,
ownership. Like
right.
no, but now due to players getting money, because like you said, that coaches have been getting all this money all these years. You know, you could just look at ticket sales, look at beer sales, food, whatever, in the stadium.
Jersey
you know.
sales.
Jersey sales. You got 110,000 strong, and you know Michigan, Ohio State, Texas A&M.
Got
Look
it.
at this. Look at the water sales in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to see players getting money now is great, but you know you got a little too much dip on your chip, man. You out here talking about I want some ownership. Ain't throw a professional ball yet. Don't do that.
Exactly. And when we got a chance to see his humanity, if you will,
Right.
with those 3 INTs. Speaking of humanity, I know this is off topic or on topic somewhat.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders' son, Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even when they beat Arizona State a couple of weeks ago, his big brother brought his watch out and he started going like that.
Yeah.
Ran to the student section and then the next 5-6 days later on a Friday night he got humbled.
Man,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
I don't.
Same.
You know, up by 29 points.
Listen,
And
that's
threw a pick in overtime.
and threw a
Yeah.
pick in
Right,
overtime and lost
man.
that game.
Right. And he didn't leave off there going.
Nah.
And that's why, the Bible talks about being humble.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I think right now Jesus is in the business of humbling these dudes. So like, if any of if listen,
real,
we just
for
gotta
real.
be
Right.
still and know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I feel
Right.
like right now that's 2 weeks, like you said, Shador, and
Williams.
then Caleb.
Yep,
I
they
mean,
both showed their humanity.
they out here yapping. Guys like, all right, let me go ahead and knock you off your boat real quick.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you swim the shore and get
That's
it back
right.
together. Because at the
That's
end of the
right.
day, you're a college student.
Right.
But you got to understand, we're seeing it at a different level now at this point in time because for once in our lifetimes, we're seeing college dudes not getting paid under the table.
Got it.
These guys are making millions.
Right.
And it's out there.
Commercials.
Well, Shador drives a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
doing
yeah.
commercials.
Pulling
Like-
up,
like a 200
so he pulling up to
vehicle.
English 102
Uh-huh.
in a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
an $80,000 watch.
Caleb Williams got the Fat Boy AMG. That car itself is about 150 grand. He pulling up to practice in that. So
Yeah.
that's why these guys. It's unfortunate when you get these doors open, you get money. Entitlement obviously follows right along
does,
with it.
it does.
So Caleb even saying anything, man, that's entitlement, dog. You gotta just hope you make a team and be blessed with that. Celebrate with your
Yeah.
family, work hard,
Yeah.
and then guess what? The only person right now at quarterback that I feel like could actually have a stake in a team is Patrick Mahomes in the NFL.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And the reason why is because his contract is like 10, 11 years. Like he ain't going nowhere for 10,
2 rings
11
up
years.
already.
And
And he's already got
yeah.
2 rings.
And he's
Yep.
still in his 20s.
When you do that, man, now we can talk ownership.
Right.
You know, you just signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
That means I got you for the next,
Yeah.
I got you for a decade.
decade.
Right.
You know what? Let's talk ownership. But
Yeah. That's
a long
I ain't trying to hear you ain't thrown a
Right.
preseason pass yet,
Yeah.
dog.
And like
That's
that, what
facts.
you said, Patrick Mahomes, he's got skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Caleb Williams and Shador Sanders, these guys, they don't have skin in the game.
No.
To be, putting out those kind of requests.
Right. And even Patrick too, to go back to Mahomes, he owns a portion of the Royals.
Gotcha.
So like
Yeah.
go you gonna have the bread, go invest and get a team elsewhere.
in the city, because
You know?
instead of Commanders get Williams, go invest in the Nationals or the
Sure,
Wizards.
right.
Something
Sure, the
like that.
Wizards or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
That's what I would do
That's
because
exactly-
guess what?
that's
That's
good.
not going away. They can't trade me. I don't because Patrick
Because
Mahomes he don't play for the Royals.
Rogers has he has ownership. I'm pretty sure he still does in the Milwaukee Bucks. He
Yep.
does. Like he's a
Oh,
part
wow.
owner
Yep.
of the Milwaukee Bucks, and
Yep.
of course he
Who
was
is?
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Because
Oh,
of course
okay.
the Packers in Wisconsin, same with the Bucks.
Got it.
So like when they won the championship 2021, I remember he was courtside, all that, got a ring, all that, because he's part of the process. So
ownership.
of course he's with the Jets now, but he still says like I still got my ownership in Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like I love the state of Wisconsin. So you can still you can fall back on that. Of course you can sell your shares of the team, get that money back, because I know he probably bought it at, I don't know, let's say he bought it at $300 million. It might be at $600 million now.
Right.
So especially with Dame coming over to the Bucks.
Right, that's
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You can make moves with it, but the fact that Caleb Williams is asking for this at the same time though, I love the fact that we can have these conversations because, like I said, 6 years ago,
Yep.
dudes is out here having to get money on the table to eat,
Yeah.
or to make sure your mom and them
Yeah.
mortgage paid, rent paid,
Sure.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but nowadays the fact that we can sit up here, you got Shador throwing up a watch, you got him
Yeah.
pulling up to the school in a Rolls Royce Cullinan, got the big body Rolls Royce
Right,
pulling up
right,
to class. You got Caleb
right.
Williams living penthouse
Yeah.
in L.A.
Sure.
I love that it's like this. I'd rather see these players, smelling themselves too much than not even reaping the
Right.
fruits of their labor.
The fruits of their labor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
People
'cause they-
rocking their jersey.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
buying their stuff.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
the ticket sales alone.
Yeah.
People. I said the stat before, but 75% of every university's money is generated through football. 75%.
Oh my
So
God.
all them new buildings they putting up, all them new little classrooms,
that's
that's
lecture
all from
halls.
football.
So the volleyball team ain't
They
doing
ain't
shit.
making that money. No,
The
even the hoop team.
Yeah,
they ain't
the
making
golf
that money.
team.
Yeah.
Badminton,
The swimming team, badminton.
Man, water polo.
yeah, the
Swim and dive.
rowing.
Right.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
all
they
know
ain't
it's
doing
no
that.
secret that most of these football teams, not most, all of them have predominantly black players.
course.
Here recently, I want to say it was a senator came out and said he stopped watching college football because he's like, these freshmen and sophomores are getting paid now, and I can't believe it. And he was just going on and on. And my thing
That's
is
a hard
this,
issue.
baseball is dominated by white, Caucasian players. You got your Dominicans and
Yeah.
things of that nature. But a lot of these kids that are getting drafted out of high school, are white kids that are picking up that $2-3 million bonus, and then they go through the minors for anywhere
Yeah.
from 2 to 5 years before they make it up to the majors.
Right.
Unless you got guys like what's the
Like,
gentleman with the
Mike,
Phillies?
like Mike Trout,
Yeah,
Bryce Harper, guys.
Bryce
Yeah,
These
Harper.
guys got drafted.
But
Yeah.
those guys, we can name them because it's not many.
Yeah.
Usually these guys got to go through that farm
Right,
process.
right.
But I see what you're saying.
But both of those guys picked up some 5-6 million signing bonuses
Absolutely.
out of high school.
Yeah.
But nobody's saying anything about that.
No.
And
Nobody said nothing.
At the end of the day, you got to remember places like Michigan Wolverines. That place is filling up with 100 and maybe 405,000 people per game.
Yeah.
And these kids deserve to get a cut of that money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Even like Michigan, Ohio State, all these schools that got these 100,000 seaters. Bro, Michigan could be 0-8. I promise you. They
Facts.
they could be 0-8. I promise you. They fans that can't get into that 110,000 seater. They're gonna be barbecuing 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
drinking,
Yeah.
cooking, about to go watch the game. Or same with A&M, same with these big schools. So these are so it's so profitable. If you look at all
Right.
these college teams, even more than the NFL. Don't let the Cardinals be 0-12. Stadium gonna look like a ghost town.
Yeah. Sure.
But let A&M be 0-7. I promise you, stadium's still gonna be
Yeah.
packed
They
out just
did.
because Bama coming to town.
Right.
Right.
Let Notre Dame be 0-8. Still gonna be on prime time
still
TV.
gonna-
They
yeah.
still gonna be
Still packed out.
Still
Man,
packed
I
out.
went.
Yeah,
I
Come
was.
on now.
I was looking into tickets, just hoping by faith maybe they were cheap to go to South Bend last week to see SC take them on. Man, listen. When Isaac was with
Bro,
me,
you showed me them ticket
listen.
price.
We. So I was like, let's just go. I don't like
Man.
going sitting up too high. So let's just go like row 36. Row 36 at like the 30-yard line. $867.
Yes.
We ain't talking
For
flight.
one ticket.
We ain't talking
We're not
flight.
talking flight,
We ain't talking
hotel.
hotel.
We're not talking food,
We
drink.
ain't
Come
talking-
on.
They wanted
merchandise.
They wanted 867 of my dollars to walk into the place and then go sit down.
God in heaven.
So
And watch
it-
your team lose.
Right, to watch my team get smoked.
Yeah, I'd have been
Watch my
sick.
team been
Man,
sick.
that's somebody's car note.
Right, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
it
saying.
is. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Somebody's
saying.
apartment note.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
That's someone's side of the rent that they paying. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so you got all that just for that. It's a collegiate game, and if you watched the SC game and Notre Dame game last week, there wasn't a seat in the house.
Packed out.
Somebody bought that ticket.
Act out.
You know what I'm saying?
And they was on national television, like always.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely of course, it's good and bad when it comes to players getting paid now. You got guys like Williams asking for a stake in the franchise, hasn't thrown a pass yet. But I'd much rather see guys asking for a stake in a franchise, showing $100,000 watches to them, having to sneak money to pay their mom
Right,
and dad.
yeah,
So
right.
it's two
Getting
sides
money
to
under the
it.
table.
They
losing
winning.
Heismans
Yeah.
and
They winning
whatnot,
a
like,
game.
yeah.
They winning a game in front of 100,000 people, winning in triple overtime to go back to their dorm and have hot dog water and
Yeah,
top ramen.
Yeah, some bread and
You
ice.
know,
Just like Chris Webber said it. Chris Webber said, back in the Fab 5 days, he's at the mall and came and buy the shoes that he's on the commercial for and a
and
little
jersey, he
poster.
said.
That's
He's-
messed up.
They talking about
Jesus,
the Fab 5 sneakers. He's like, bro, I don't got $200 to spend right now, and my
Right.
face
Crazy.
is blasted all over the Foot Locker, wherever. So I'm glad that's done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, Williams got to come back down to earth.
Yeah,
His
man,
pops
good
need to
luck,
stop
Caleb.
telling- His pops need to stop. His pops, Carl Williams, he was the one coming out talking about some. Oh, we don't want to go to the Cardinals. We don't want to go here. We don't want to go there. Like, man, you better take what you can get. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Like at the end of the day, like this is a lot of people don't get in these positions.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, so calm all that down.
Yeah,
Calm
'cause-
down, bro. Come back
calm
down
all
to
that
earth.
down, because I promise you, once Williams dropped back and TJ Watt off that edge, and
a whole different ball
Max
game.
Crosby and the Bosa's off that edge,
Whole different ball
it's
game.
a different
my man
game.
from the Cowboys, number 11.
Micah
Yeah,
Parsons.
Micah Parsons,
Man.
this ain't no 19-year-old dude just failed his English exam out there running against you. It's not that. We talking about the
This is a
big
grown
dog.
professional.
We talking
Somebody
about
who wakes
future-
up and works on their
future Hall of
craft.
Fame.
Yeah.
Talking big dog,
Killers.
30-year-old.
Yeah.
We talking about killers
Yes,
out
this is
there.
what they do. That's how they
Yeah,
feed their
man.
family.
So come on back down to earth, Caleb, man, and just you're good. You're a great football player. He's a great football player. We know
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
But let's get some skin in the game before
Yeah.
we start talking about
That's
any
right.
type of ownership.
That's right.
That's real.
Let's just focus on beating Utah this week.
That's
How about
it.
that?
Yeah.
Beat
'Cause
Utah.
we ain't beat Utah in a minute.
Go watch film. Go watch film.
Yeah, man. So go watch some film. Speaking of film, the NBA, I can't believe it came back. It low key came back fast, in my
fast.
opinion. I feel
In my
like
opinion, yeah.
I
It
felt like
felt long for me, bro. You
Really?
know, I
I
love
know,
the league
I
pass.
remember
Yeah,
that.
you got league pass and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you be
I always-
watching.
I be watching
Yeah.
on like Christmas and like I'll tune
NBA
in here
Fridays,
and there.
like,
Yeah,
you know, good
but like
games.
If ain't no
I-
football on, I'll
but
throw on a game.
I would be up there Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
Yeah, man.
watching the
Lakers-
Spurs and the
Lakers and the-
Timberwolves.
Lakers and the Pistons.
He watching Spurs. He watching the Spurs and the Timberwolves. I'm like, all right, what you watching this game
Nah,
for?
man.
funny.
Lakers and the Thunder. I'm up there Tuesday at
Lakers
5
and the
o'clock.
Thunder.
I'm like, bro, this dude always watching basketball. But it comes back on Tuesday. Really quick, I know this is really early, but let's do early MVP predictions and early finals predictions. A lot of movement happened this offseason. Of course, the biggest one is Dame Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck. That's huge for him in that city. Also, y'all hear he's getting divorced? Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
Dame
Is it?
is
I think
getting
it's like his
divorced.
high school sweetheart.
Yeah, he's
right?
been with her.
Or his college sweetheart.
sad.
Yeah,
They have
something
kids
like
together.
that.
So yeah,
I was like,
but
dang.
I mean, I'm sure that probably won't affect his game much. You know, he's just a killer on the court.
He's a dog, man.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, so let's do MVP and finals predictions. What are y'all thinking?
I'm thinking Milwaukee's going to get in, Eastern Conference, and believe it or not, I think that Golden State's coming back.
You think
think they're gonna sneak
think
in?
so?
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting.
With Chris Paul, huh?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember them. Well, they did. They have one consecutive when they got.
Yeah,
Kevin
KD.
Durant.
Yeah, but I like the fact that some of their championships have been kind of broken up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You know,
It's not like you're not
Yeah.
like
It's
you're
not
not
like
like
every
over
year.
Yeah,
you're not
'cause-
over
yeah.
them being so successful.
Right.
Like I feel like we were over the Patriots being so successful because it was like every year.
Yeah, 'cause-
Yeah.
yeah, they
So I
about
see
20.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
2015 they won. 2016 they lost. 2017 won. 18 won. 19 lost to the Raptors. 20 was the bubble. You know,
Right,
whatever.
yeah,
so they
right,
didn't go.
yeah.
21 they didn't go. They had a bad year.
Yeah.
You know, dudes got hurt, and then 22 they won. So
See,
it's
yeah.
been spacey.
It's been really spread
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so I think that they're going to come back with a passion. I don't, and we'll see about Chris Paul. You know, as far as if he can stay healthy.
That's
Because
the
I
thing.
believe with or without him, but those two guards,
Steph and Clay.
Steph and Clay.
Yeah.
Figure it
I've
out.
been around 51 years, and they're definitely the best duo I've ever seen. You know, at the 1 and the 2. Before that, it was Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
can't really count Michael and Scotty in there because they, for the most part, played the 2 and the 3.
Right.
Okay.
But 1 and 2, Clay and
Steph.
yeah, those guys are different. And if
Different.
they stay healthy, and if Green, you know, does his thing, you know, in
don't
the
get
paint,
suspended.
don't get suspended, say nothing crazy, stop going off on
I mean,
refs.
yeah. He gonna do all of that.
You gonna do all that?
He don't kick nobody in the nuts. You know,
Yeah.
Remember he did that too.
He gonna do all of that stuff. We just gotta hope he
purposely-
stay healthy. But he
Poking
definitely
you in your eye on
he definitely
purpose.
cussing out a ref. He definitely
Yeah.
getting kicked out.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
You know,
right.
Crazy.
punching
so-
teammates, punching Jordan Poole in the head.
Forgot about
right,
that.
right.
He
Yeah.
socked that boy out of Golden State, bro. He gone.
You know he gone now. Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Jordan
Yeah,
Poole
yeah,
gone.
yeah, he was the
he's not
Wizards.
there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my prediction: Milwaukee and Golden State. And MVP, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with. I think KD gonna go off this year.
Yeah,
Suns,
first
KD.
first full year.
Yeah,
Okay.
his first
A
full
lot of
year.
open floor because of Book and Bill.
Yeah.
I could see
And I even
KD.
think they got a chance to represent the Western Conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's wide open. So
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
West is the Wild Wild West.
West gonna
and
be
the
The
tough.
West, they don't play no defense for real. It's the
Yeah.
Eastern Conference. I noticed that. They
Yeah.
play good defense in the Eastern
But the
Conference.
West, there's like
The
4 or
West is
5
just-
different teams that could win the West.
Yeah.
yeah, there is.
So much of scoring teams.
Yeah, what do y'all think? MVP finals prediction.
Western Conference. I got to rock with the Lake Show, man.
Yeah.
People sleeping on the Lakers,
Yeah.
bro. I'm rocking with the Lake Show like always, just because LeBron. And then in the Eastern Conference, there's really you got to say Milwaukee. I mean,
Yeah.
the only other competition they have is the Celtics, and the Celtics they kind of be iffy.
Them in
You
Miami.
know,
I
yeah,
love
them
Tatum,
in Miami.
but, you know, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee just because I feel like Giannis had a bad taste in his mouth last year, getting hurt and everything.
I agree.
I feel like he coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And that brings me to MVP. I gotta agree with Ira, bro. I think it's Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah, we was talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Giannis
Let's
as
be
MVP.
Giannis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say honestly, of course, West. I'm gonna say Lakers because I'm a Lakers fan. So I'm gonna say I think Lakers actually get it together this year. But for me to be realistic, I'm gonna be real because of course I
Yeah.
want the Lakers to go. But man, I think that boy Jokic. I don't see why you could. No one.
I forgot about Denver.
My thing about Denver is like how do you stop Jokic? We watched him. It's automatic. Like
he's
it's
different.
it's an automatic triple double. If his shot's not falling, he has 17 assists.
Right.
And if his assists ain't going, he got 35 points.
Right.
And he got 15 boards. And he's efficient. He's not gonna go out there and do nothing stupid. He doesn't waste any movement. Makes the right
hardly turns the
pass.
ball over.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
And then Jamal Murray, he getting the ball. He doing his thing. He could go off for 40, 50. So honestly, I think I'm a hope the Lakers go. But realistically, if I had to put some money down,
Sure.
I'm gonna say the Nuggets go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the East, man, I'm gonna have to go with Milwaukee, man. If we see a Giannis versus Jokic finals,
That'd be great.
that's gonna be like
That'd
King
be
Kong versus Godzilla. Like it's gonna be like that's gonna be
That'd be
bedlam.
That'd
No,
be good.
like seriously, it'll be just a wild competition. I would love to see that, and of course, we get to see not only Jokic and Giannis, but we also get to see Murray and Dame going
Dame.
back and forth.
Yeah.
They're gonna be trading Duke. So like, I want to see that just as a basketball fan. I'd love to see Bucks versus Nuggets in the finals. Just off of
being a fan. Yeah.
And MVP, honestly, MVP's hard. I was saying Giannis. I think Giannis is gonna do it because of Dame, opening the floor up. He can,
Yeah.
because what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna trap the paint? He's gonna kick it out the Dame.
Dame
pulling three.
hitting the three
And what
ball.
you gonna do? Spread out. Giannis gonna be flying right through with the
One-on-ones
Euro.
down low. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Giannis if I gotta put some money on it. But I think a guy who could do it this year, just off of how last year ended, and because of Drew coming to the Boston. So I think Jason Tatum. I think Tatum.
JT's
He's
nice.
nice.
I think Tatum's really good. I think he can.
He is.
I don't see why he wouldn't average 30 points almost, and do his thing because Drew. Drew's, of course, a great defender. He gets you 20 points. They just re-signed Jaylen Brown too. He's another guy get you 24, 23 a game. So I can see Tatum regular season just dominating. So also you got guys like Luka with Kyrie. There's a lot of stuff that's going
How
on.
about
this year.
Luka, man?
Yeah,
That boy
Luka.
Luka nice.
Luka, man, he's a guy.
ridiculous.
He's automatic. So,
He automatic triple
but yeah,
double.
I'm gonna say Giannis. I'm gonna say Giannis or Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay.
One
Giannis
of
versus
them. One of
Tatum.
them wins the MVP, and then I think Bucks Nuggets finals, and I think Bucks win it all.
Bucks win it
Bucks
all.
win it all.
I think Bucks do it because
Yeah.
Giannis on a mission, man. Last year he got hurt, missed the first 2 games. Heat knocked him out. So
Yeah.
I would say definitely. After last year watching Denver, man, they're just a good team.
They are.
Yeah.
It just felt like almost like watching college hoops. You know what I'm saying? Like the offense that they
Aaron
ran. And,
Gordon.
like,
Yeah.
and then of course you just got Jokic, who's a juggernaut. You know, the thing that makes me so mad about Jokic sometimes though is like you could tell he like don't really love the game.
You know what I'm
what I'm
Yeah, bro.
saying?
Like,
Like,
he
yeah.
play careless, but like he cares. It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to
he
explain.
cares about his horses back in Serbia.
back in Serbia,
more
like-
than basketball. Did y'all see him walking up to?
Yeah, with his
training
hands in his
camp?
pockets. Yeah, his hands in his
He had
pockets.
his hands in his
He's like,
pockets, and this lady's like, "Hey, welcome back," and he's like,
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did not want to be
Then
back.
I saw another clip yesterday. He on the sideline on his phone right before practice. All you hear is balls bouncing and stuff. And Jamal Murray comes over there and he goes, "Man, what you looking at?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking at my horses." Like he not even. But he's so good.
He is. He's great.
He's so
Like he's
good.
great. Like his dude,
He's so
dude
good,
has
but-
2 MVPs.
Right,
He
right.
might mess around with the MVP again, dude.
Bro,
he might.
You can't
Like, he
count
might,
him
because
out.
It's just so
You
automatic
can't.
every night. So
That's what I'm saying. So Denver, I see them once again. My heart is with Braun. I'm hoping for the best, but like you said, if I gotta put bread down, Denver back out of the West, and then out of the East, man. Bucks. I mean, the Bucks is it's theirs to lose.
It
at
is.
this
It
point.
really is.
That Dame Lillard.
Dame's so
that
automatic.
is
They have the
so
best- yeah.
that's-
Game's so smooth. Like
yeah.
He's a smooth
It's just
player.
so that, and I think we'll see that that clash of Godzilla and King
Kong.
Kong for real in the finals. That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then MVP, and this is a little. He's done it before, but this offseason, I've seen Steph Curry put in some crazy work.
Yeah.
Running up sand dunes and down sand stuff. And
During the offseason?
During this offseason. Now, you remember, how old is Curry?
34, 35.
Wow.
And last year, he was on a tear. Obviously, they didn't make it past Sacramento,
yeah.
but, like, he just didn't have no help.
Yeah.
But man, I could see Steph just going, like you said, the Warriors are going to be good, and I think he's going to be the force.
And I think Chris Paul, like, Dad said, you said Chris Paul staying healthy. I think with Chris Paul distributing to Clay.
That's
and
what I'm
Steph,
saying.
That's what's going to make it dangerous.
Yes.
Because people forget that's the point guard. Like,
Yep.
Right.
yeah, people can say what they want about Chris Paul. He has no ring. He can't stay healthy. He's bad luck, all that. This dude's probably the best point guard of our generation.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the best top 5, top 3 point guard, arguably, you could say all
Sure,
time. This dude,
sure.
second all time in assists. He is up there with
Yeah, he's
steals,
definitely top 5.
all that. So I feel like a guy like Chris Paul with the Warriors system with Clay and Steph constantly
Running the
moving,
wings.
just running.
Yeah.
But Chris just finding them creases and Draymond finding the creases, getting the boards. Like I can see definitely the Warriors being a team to not mess with.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably go to a 3-guard offense.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But that's the NBA nowadays.
Yeah,
It's positionless, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
and I saw
Positionless.
the lineup they did. They had Chris Paul at the 1, they had Steph at the 2, Clay at the 3, they had Draymond at the 4, and they had Wiggins at the 5. Andrew Wiggins. And Wiggins is 6'8", 6'9" guy, but he's just an athlete. They call it the death lineup. They call it just like it's just shooters and just runners. And
Yeah.
basically Draymond takes on the 5 or Wiggins takes on the 5, and they get the boards, do the dirty work. So
No center.
Because now you got big dudes like Joel Embiid who has to keep up with Wiggins, which
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
damn near impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, you might be I might change my prediction.
Man, I don't know. The Warriors might
you
be
can't
wrong.
count out Curry. I mean,
Yeah,
Curry's
they
too
stay
good.
healthy.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I love how their championships are spread out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I like that. So that keeps them hungry. Like hey, it's been a couple of years. We need to go get it.
Hey,
Go get it.
real quick sidebar, real quick. Let's say Curry gets 5 somehow. What
5 rings.
5 ring. Curry gets 5 rings. Like, what's the conversation now?
The conversation.
Where's
is
he at? Where's he at? Where's he at in the rankings?
He moves into the top 10.
So
ever.
you don't think he's top 10 right now?
No.
Where would you say he's at right now?
Definitely top
He's
20.
like in the
top 15, 20. For
He's
sure.
in the teens.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's in the
So you
teens,
think
for sure.
Curry gets 5? It's no discussion.
No
top 10.
discussion. You got to shift him in.
Well,
into
who's
the top.
that thing? Is,
Because I mean,
who's
he's
jumping
already
out?
the greatest shooter ever.
Who's jumping out? Because you got
Man, you got to might have to move Larry Bird.
Yeah, I
out.
was gonna say Bird.
Yeah, Bird gotta go.
Big O.
Yeah, you gotta go.
He might even need to go now.
He
because
might need to
only
go.
got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Steph's got 4.
Right.
So arguably he might be in the top 10 now, but 5.
Yeah.
Even now there's debate about because somebody just recently came out. I think it was the guard for U of A. He's kind of crazy.
Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Wizards have a shooting guard.
Shooting guard. Shooting
No
guard
chill.
from the-
Hey, shout out to the No Chill podcast. I watch Gilbert all the time. Gilbert's funny.
He came out the tunnel like.
Yeah,
inside joke. Google
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But anyway, Gilbert Arenas said that Curry is better than Magic, and he's not. I mean, when you start doing looking at statistics and how many, first of all, Magic's got 5 rings, and out of the 5 rings, he won. I think he was MVP either 3 or 4 of those finals.
Okay.
But when you start looking at stuff like that, matter of fact, I'll come next week with some more statistics. Magic is still way ahead, and Magic even came out and he started breaking down his statistics compared to Curry's, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
To me though, I think Curry and Magic is like apple and oranges. I think their games are just so different.
Way different.
Like way different. Even the sizes, Magic 6'8", 6'9" out there
Right.
distributing. Curry 6'3" out there, free flowing. Create a shot. Shot off a pick. He can, best 3-point shooter ever. Floater game, nice, all that. So, that's definitely a tricky discussion. To get back to the top 10 conversation, me personally, I think Curry's top 10 already. I think Curry's top 10 already.
Yeah.
And I think if he gets that 5th ring, man, I'm not saying top 5, but I'm gonna say top 6, 7. He jumps no discussion.
If he gets a 5th.
Because not only we talking about rings, talking about the revolutionization
Changed
of
the
basketball.
whole game.
He changed the game.
He literally has made basketball positionless.
Yes.
He really
he
has.
really has.
Yeah.
Like the reason why you got Wiggins and Draymond being the 4 and the 5
Right.
now is because
of him.
Because of him, and you got other teams like that are gonna follow that same mold. You don't need no 7'2" too dude in the way nowadays. You know?
Right.
Back in the day, you have power forward. There's no power forward.
Right.
There's no forward now. It's just
Right.
like you just put a guy in there who
Sure.
you know run around.
who's throwing it in
athlete.
bounds?
Who's an athlete?
Yeah.
Basically, who will be a wing defender? Who going you can guard the 4 and you can guard the 2.
Right.
So if you add in not only the rings but also Curry, revolutionizing the whole game of basketball from youth level all the way up to the NBA. Man, I don't see why this dude, if he wins a 5th ring, he's not top 6, 7. I would say 5. I'm just not going to even do that because that top 5 is definitely
That top 5, boy.
Yeah,
That's some real dogs in there.
like some juggernauts.
But
Yeah.
you definitely got to consider him between 7 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if he gets a 5th ring.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my opinion on that because, it's hard to get 5 rings.
Just because he is a little one-dimensional.
It's hard to get 5.
It's hard to get 5 rings,
And
but he is a little one-dimensional.
Get 5 rings and be only thing is his knock is that was he the best player on all 5 of those rings? Like Jordan, LeBron, all their rings, they were the best players on those teams. Magic, you could argue because I know James Worthy won a MVP. I think Kareem won one.
Kareem won one.
I think Magic got the other
So
3.
but that's what I'm saying because
And one of those teams, he was the center.
yeah,
He couldn't even play point.
Yeah,
because Kareem went down, and they put Norm Nixon at point.
That's right.
They put Magic. Magic still had 42, 10, and 10, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jesus.
As a rookie.
And let's not forget, as a rookie.
Crazy.
As a rookie?
As a rookie.
Dang.
As a rookie. He played
Fresh
center.
out of- fresh
Matter
out
of
of
fact,
Michigan
he
State.
sat in on the airplane. He sat in Kareem's seat. Don't fear, Magic is here.
20 years
Hey,
old.
that's funny.
Just in high school 2 years ago.
Crazy just to have that mentality,
Yeah,
man.
brother said, don't fear.
Don't fear.
Magic is here.
That's right, because Kareem didn't even make the trip.
No,
he didn't even make the trip
no.
out there.
Well,
Not at all.
no. Back to what I was saying though. I
Crazy.
feel like the thing about let's say Jordan and Kobe. I said Jordan and Kobe. Jordan and LeBron, the goats. Top 2. Wherever you put them, those are top 2. Those guys were the best player on those championship teams.
Yeah,
no question.
no question.
While KD was part of those 5 rings that Curry might win.
Right.
And you could say the 4 rings that Curry has now. 2 of those rings, KD was clearly
the
the
best on
best,
the team.
and Iguodala was the MVP in one of those rings.
True.
Right.
So that's where the topic goes, and that's why that top 5 list. I'm just gonna say 7 to 12, like you said.
Yeah.
Because that top 5, those guys are clearly the best
Clearly.
player on
Clearly.
all their teams.
Clearly the best players in the league at the time
Yes,
as well.
Because
Yeah.
if it
Clearly.
wasn't for KD, Steph would probably be sitting at 3.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'd agree.
Yeah, without a
He'd be
4.
at 3.
Yeah, he would definitely have 3,
Yeah.
maybe 4, 5 max. But the fact that he could get 5, potentially 6, because I don't see him slowing down. Like think about it, I can see Curry being early 40s, still 20 points a
Because with his
game.
play style, he stays healthy.
Yeah, why does he- why does
he's
he-
not
I
falling? He's
don't-
not doing like Kyrie, his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
He falls a lot.
John Morant, guys
John
like
Morant,
that,
yeah.
athleticism. Westbrook,
Yeah.
you're relying off of this, God-given ability. While
Right.
Curry's so technical
Right.
that a
I
guy
agree
like
with
Curry
that
can be.
statement.
Curry can be in his early 40s with I don't know. We don't know who's coming up, but 22, 23-year-old guys leading the charge while he's just sitting back corner hitting threes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Ray Allen towards the end of his career with the Heat. So
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
so-
'Cause he doesn't spend a whole lot of time in the paint.
he doesn't.
Doesn't need to.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
His body's not
Best
banged
shooter
up.
ever to play the game.
Yeah, so-
Now that's a conversation that's
Oh,
not,
what?
that's-
Oh, what?
Right.
Hey,
If
man,
you, say if you tell me that Curry is the best shooter of all time, we can't talk about
we can't
nothing.
talk about
nothing.
We can't talk about
I
politics.
don't, you can't. Hey,
Yeah.
talk
we start
nothing,
arguing
bro.
that, we need to shut down
listen,
the whole.
Yeah.
if you can't agree with us on that, you can't watch my kids.
Yeah, for real.
Right,
Yeah,
I don't want you around my
right.
family.
I don't
bro.
trust you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Speaking of trust, man, let's jump into it, man. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett had another run in. Now, mind you, if I want to say it was about a year ago now, or 2, maybe a year and a half, when she came out that she had been having an entanglement with August Alsina,
Sure.
which is her son's friend, which that in itself is crazy.
Yeah.
Now she coming out and is basically discrediting Will again, admitting that they have been separated since what
2016.
2016, not
Yeah.
living in the same house.
Yeah.
Then she comes out and says that when Will slapped Chris Rock on her behalf, that she thought it was a skit and didn't think it was serious. Then she came out and said that basically in so many words, like, she was taken back by it because they've been so estranged or whatever. The whole situation is just a mess. If y'all were Will, what would y'all do?
Will needs to get out. At the end of the day, this relationship should have ended 8 years ago. I mean, we're talking. You haven't been living together since 2016. We're talking 8 years later. I think you need to be done. Yeah, Malachi 2:16. God, he hates divorce. He doesn't hate us. He hates how we allow the enemy to come in, divide, and separate. So you're able to move forward, and God, His mercies are new every morning. I think they needed to be done. And it's really a shame that Jada has thrown Will under the bus like she has with this whole Tupac thing, and seemed like she just never he's been gone since I think he's been gone because me and Pac we're literally born the same year. He's been gone for about 27 years. It's like, man, why I mean, you keep bringing him up. It seems like every time we turn around,
right?
And now people are on their podcast throwing her under the bus because they're saying there was really never a relationship, and now she's saying when she went to go visit him in jail, he was proposed to her, but he can't even speak on his behalf. I just recently had a family member tell me so and so proposed to me, and this brother been dead for a year and a half. I'm like, I want confirmation.
Right. Yeah. And you can't knock on the casket. Hey, bro.
Hey, what you say, bro?
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Right.
So my opinion on that is they need to be done. The relationship is toxic, and I'm a firm believer. If you're going to be married, be happily married. If you can't be happily married, if you don't like the one you love, you need to be done, because I'm sure there's still love for each other.
Sure.
I mean, they produced 2 children together. They've had 20 plus years together. But if you don't like each other, be done.
I mean,
That's just what it is. I agree. I just think, and I love women, I love everybody, but women like that, bro, that's just wrong. I'm sorry. She is so wrong for that. She disclosing personal business on public radio, public, making it public news, talking about people's secrets, talking about what they've been. Like, you keep that stuff to yourself, or keep that with a therapist, man.
Right.
Like, women like that, they just do that to seek attention, in my opinion, to seek clout, to stay relevant.
Is there a book out now?
Yeah, she wrote
made a book.
Yeah, she made a book. That's why she's on like this press tour right now. There's a book.
See, but still, man,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you just exposing everything. Like, isn't that embarrassing to you, even to a certain extent?
That's Will's fault.
But
that's Will's fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think it's Will's fault for her to even, her Red Table Talk, her little platform. That's how it all started. Her going and exposing, stuff with the relationship. And I just feel like Will, of course, they've been separated since 2016. So, Lord knows what he's done and what he's doing. So, he might not have even the power to be like, hey, babe, come on. Because, 2016, it's a long time, almost a decade. That they've been, doing our own thing. So, me personally, if I'm Will, I would not associate with that woman, because me in my life, I could not imagine my woman having a romantic fling with somebody, big or small. It doesn't matter what's going on with it. For a man to be dead almost 30 years and you're still talking about this man, and on top of that, even Willow Smith, their Will and Jada's daughter, she's like wrote in letters to like Tupac, wrote in little letters. I'm like, why are you, now you got the daughter thinking about this man?
God.
It's like, why are you? I'm like, why are you even doing this? Like, not
this is bizarre.
Like, and I know her and Pac go back. They went to high school together. You know, all that, went to art school, whatever. They did the thing back in the day. So they do have a long-term relationship. But Pac has been dead almost 30 years now. I wasn't even thought of when he died. So much has happened in the world. So much, you've in that time you had 2 kids. Yeah, you and Will's relationship, ultimately is going to end in divorce or separation, but at the same time, the last thing you should be doing is out here not only putting dirt on your husband's name, but getting a person who can't speak for himself involved in Tupac, and talking about things he did, and he proposed to me, and and he, I know if he was here, he would be saying this stuff now. How do you know that?
Yeah,
you have no idea.
You don't know how that stuff would have went. So
you have no idea.
Speaking on the dead is something I think is crazy.
And on top of that too, obviously she said that he proposed to her in prison. We don't know what Pac was telling. Women are coming to visit. I'm telling every girl to come visit. Hey,
I ain't seen no girl.
I want to marry you.
I'm trying to get married. You know what I mean? Don't be out here giving my stuff away.
I'll marry anything.
Right.
We know how men are. Like, 9 times out of 10, we want control, and we want to feel like, you gonna hold us down.
Especially
while we locked
Pac
up.
was a womanizer. Like, Pac had Madonna. He had Quincy Jones' daughter. Like, he had all these girls running around talking about.
I didn't know he had all that.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, Pac was doing his thing.
I think Jada feels shortchanged. I'm gonna say something controversial. Pac was a nigga.
Yes.
Excuse me.
No, he was.
He's a nigga.
He was.
Then you got Will Smith, who's a cornball brother.
Cornball.
Nerd.
Willard.
Yes.
And that's why, when he jumped up and slapped Chris Rock,
It even feel natural, right?
It didn't.
Like
And
That's why it seemed like a joke.
Yeah, and he seen
Yeah.
the look that Jada, because Jada was very embarrassed and humiliated, and he looked at her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so surprised he did it because we weren't in a relationship, but y'all married on paper, my
Right.
life partner, which is so bizarre.
That's
Yeah, we not
you know what I'm
doing
saying?
It's got to be for the money at this point in time. I feel like, because obviously with a divorce, money's got to get split. Houses got to get split. Properties, boats,
Cars,
whatever you got
you name
going.
it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the headache part that's kind of kept them separated for damn near a decade.
Right, almost a decade.
Almost a decade not being with your spouse. That's a whole different situation in itself. So like at this point, is it that they don't want to have the money dispute? They don't want to have, because obviously Will is worth way more than Jada.
Right.
I mean, what's Jada been in since Set It Off?
Can somebody Google
she's
her?
in the Matrix.
Google her
I
net
wanna
worth.
see
She's
what
definitely been ducked off.
I'm sure he's probably worth about 300-400 million.
Yeah.
Will Smith is a star. Not only is he a star, he's a legend. Like, that's Will Smith. He ain't got to do it. He ain't got to act on a day in his life. This dude's solidified.
He's one of the greatest.
Yes.
And it's sad that he made that rash decision to go slap Chris Rock, because obviously that's going to put a little dilemma and a delay on his next movies and stuff like that. What is
Jada's only worth $50 million. Will Smith's worth $350 million.
yes.
So me
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
I don't think it comes
net
down to
worth.
money and parting ways with property. I think what it boils down to is pride. I just think that they don't want to go down, because most people in Hollywood, not Hollywood, Hollywood, get divorced.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are not staying together. There's not a lot of them that have a lot of longevity,
Right.
and I think that, the egos and pride, all that stuff clashes and, things of that nature, so I think it just comes down to pride and all this, my life partner. And we all see you guys have an unhealthy marriage.
Super unhealthy.
Like you said earlier, Zay, about this August, he came up and he was, on the Breakfast Club sharing about how he was sleeping with her, and I was sharing with my wife, and she's like, "That's not true." And I said, "No, that brother telling the truth.
You can see it in his
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah, you can see it, because the hurt, the agony, because when they broke up, he was like, "It hurt me," and he said, "I sat down with Will before we, while we were sleeping together," and my wife was like, "I don't believe he." But obviously, we all know that they've had an understanding,
Right.
Yeah.
for years. This open marriage, which is so unhealthy,
Yeah.
So bad.
and
Opens
then
up
like
that
she's like,
door.
"I'm in entanglement."
Yeah.
and then couldn't even do wrong right. You're sleeping with your
With
son's,
your son's
Yeah, with your
homeboy.
son's homeboy.
partner,
Yeah.
if you will.
Go mess with Denzel or something. I don't know.
Pick on someone your own size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go mess with an older man,
And she-
somebody around
right,
your
and
age.
she messed
something.
that little boy up.
Oh, yeah,
August.
August
He
Alsina.
hurt.
Yeah.
'cause
He ain't been the same since.
And his
he
career
has.
is never going to recover. Like, August Alsina can come out with a ballad, great album, whatever. Ain't nobody talking about that album.
Nah.
We're talking about,
They talking about how
you and
he-
Jada.
they
Yeah,
talking
you
about,
guys are
man,
forever.
yeah,
You guys are forever
crime.
entangled, literally.
Right.
That entanglement has entangled your whole career to this woman.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
and like I said earlier, we don't know what Will's done, of course, because almost 10 years of separation. Shoot, and it's Will Smith. He can have any woman he wants.
Sure,
Yeah,
Like
sure.
not only is he a good-looking man, this dude's also super rich, and he's a star. Like
Yeah.
that's Will Smith. We all grew
And he's
up
he's
watching.
funny. Girls love funny dudes.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
This dude was
Like-
doing blockbuster movies every summer at one point. Like this
Yeah.
dude just has a crazy catalog. So
Yeah.
it is sad to see. I don't want to see anybody get divorced, especially
Sure.
especially
Yeah.
everybody's saying, "Well, I want that Jada and that Will love." That was like popular. Everybody
Yeah.
like we love their
J.
dynamic.
J. Cole
Yes,
said
I'm
in the
saying
song,
like
yeah.
they were like a couple people looked up to. So to see what's happened now with them is definitely sad to see, and to see them not. If it was just like headline, Will and Jada divorced, Will and Jada separated, it's not that. It's a whole bunch of BS tied to it. It's a whole bunch of entanglements and people and names and rumors. It's
Exposing
like
secrets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, see,
laundry.
what-
It's like,
yeah, you
man,
can't-
at
right.
least it'll be better if they just went their separate ways.
Yeah.
And just went their separate ways. But she's jumping on
Yeah.
podcasts and platforms discussing their personal problems, and I think
not good.
that's wrong. That's where I find wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
That's so good, and the kids are gone now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're older.
So it's not like anybody's a minor anymore. You're not raising children anymore. You literally go from being a parent to being a consultant.
Right.
You give suggestions and ideas. And if I'm not mistaken, both of those kids are probably like 19 and like 22
Well,
now.
no, they're probably around me and Isaac's
They're
age.
around me and Iris'
my
age.
bad.
Yeah.
So,
Older.
so that's
Yeah.
even more the reason why
They like 23 to 25.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
even
that.
more
So
the
They
they
reason
got
why
their
go get a
own
divorce.
houses and cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you really don't have to throw the kids in there.
Yeah.
Obviously they'll feel away if they do get divorced. But
Sure.
I mean, it's not like their kid like
They're
living
not
at
kids.
the crib.
Yeah, they're all the early
Dad used to make
mid-20s.
my cereal, and now he doesn't anymore. You know,
Got
like
it.
that's not the situation.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's got to be a financial type of situation where Jada probably like, listen, I'm worth 50, but you worth
But
350.
she want to be
Oh,
worth, she want to be worth 150.
Yeah, and if I'm Will, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't get what did 50 Cent say? You can't get $1 out of me. You ain't getting nothing out of me, shorty. I'm
Man,
sorry.
listen.
Especially the way you run in your mouth. If you did your due diligence, I can maybe throw you a little bit of cheese. But you
Yeah.
out here running around putting dirt on my name, talking about a dead man that you love still. We're
not
not
good.
doing that. I'm not. You
Not
can't get
good.
nothing out of me.
You know, they say that the old saying is cheaper to keep her.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where Will's living right now.
And people think, oh, Will got money, bro. People don't realize a $150 million cut. That's
That is
so.
a lot.
Yes, Will's gonna. His life's not gonna be affected. He can still go on those boat trips and vacations and all that. That's a lot.
That's a
of
lot of
money.
bread.
$150,000 is a lot of money.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't
couldn't
want to throw no
imagine.
money to a woman
million?
like that, bro.
Listen,
I ain't
if
throwing
it's
no
me
money to a
at
woman
this
like
stage
that.
of my life, because you gotta remember, I'm probably they're a little older than me,
Yeah.
Jada and Will. But if I still got 150, 200 million left, I'm straight.
Oh yeah. Like
You know
I
what
said,
I'm
your life's
saying? 'Cause
unaffected.
Listen.
But
I
yeah.
can't even. I'm not gonna be able to spend all that money if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's almost like when Michael Jordan got divorced, he had to give his wife $150 million. He didn't even blink.
Yeah.
Listen.
But Jordan's a billionaire too at the same
Now
time.
he wasn't.
Yeah.
at that
He wasn't
time.
but still.
At that time he was worth 300 million.
But yeah,
and he had to
oof.
give her 150 million. I mean, you still got 150 million. I don't think you lose the sleep.
Nah.
But then everybody's wired different. I know me
Man,
personally.
150.
If I got 150 million, I'm not gonna lose no sleep.
Well, my thing is this: if I got 150 million to give you, and you're quiet about it and do diligent, that's one thing. But if I give you 150 and you gonna go on a podcast talking about how you was sleeping, cheating on me, and you
Right.
was with,
Yeah, we
and you
can
was, and
sign
I
some
still,
waivers.
and I
Not
still
only
love
that,
Tupac.
Not only that,
Yeah.
she could go on there and start talking about his business because
Oh, what?
I'm sure Will got some skeletons in the
Will,
closet.
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You know Will.
Like
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
do, you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Right.
I don't know if I'm Will. I'll be looking into whoever P Diddy hired to kill Pac.
Hey,
I'm playing.
we gonna get her out of here.
My
You
God.
gotta get her up out of here.
Lord Jesus.
I'm playing. Speaking of that, man, Tupac's situation back in, what was that, 96,
Yeah.
when he was unfortunately murdered in Las Vegas. Finally, all kinds of details, and we know exactly what happened that
Finally an
night.
arrest.
Sad that it took 27 years, if you will, after his initial death, to figure everything out. But we know the details of everything, and the only person alive that was in that vehicle that was firing shots at there's 4 individuals in that car that was firing shots at Tupac and Suge Knight. Only one of them is still alive. It goes by the name of Keefe D, and it's looking like he's about to go to prison for a situation because basically he just out here talking about exactly what happened, but I don't think he took into consideration, bro, you were in the vehicle, which makes you guilty by association.
And he didn't fire the weapon initially, but still, you're still guilty by association.
And we all know Mama always teach us, you don't have to necessarily fire the weapon, but if you in the car with someone who did and someone loses your life, you're guilty by association.
Absolutely.
You're going to go do time.
Absolutely.
We've all seen the first 48. Y'all know how it is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Dude be like, man, I was in a back seat sleeping, man. They
Blackout
just started
drunk.
shooting
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
They started shooting Cisco. I didn't know. At the end, when they saw them walking out, hey, he has 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, proven innocent till guilty, but he pleaded to 7 years just for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see like they finally got the details
For the
of
family.
everything.
I know for the
family
family.
because
Yeah,
the
that
guy
closure.
who initially pulled the trigger, he died 2 years later at 23 years old. So like he been gone for just as long as Tupac, if you will.
You know, Tupac's mother, she passed away
Yeah,
pretty recently, but I know Tupac's father's alive.
Yeah.
I know he has, I think, a sister and a brother alive too. So for them to see, some justice is definitely good.
Yeah, man.
Definitely gave their family some closure. That's
Yeah.
good for
Yeah,
them.
most
It
definitely.
is. 'Cause
It's
I'm sure
huge.
they just been walking around here like, what happened? Like, what was the whole what was the premise of this whole situation?
Yeah.
Now they know. So
And I can't believe this guy started talking 27 years later.
On Vlad
James
TV.
1:19 says, "Be slow to speak,
Listen, I'm taking that to the
and
grave.
quick to hear." But nevertheless,
moving to Cuba.
Trying to sell a
Numbers
book.
32 and 23 does say your sin will surely find you out. And it looked like this guy's gonna be doing some time. I think if I'm not mistaken, he already been
Oh,
arrested.
yeah, he's already
Yeah.
been locked up.
Yeah,
Oh, he
with
has.
no bond.
Nope.
Yeah.
Dude told himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they found a fingerprint or they found something crazy or had a crazy lead.
Right.
Like he told it.
He told it, man.
Maybe he's been tormented the last 27
that's what
years.
it is.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Possibly, especially
yeah.
because you got to understand the whole situation was so senseless and so avoidable.
Yeah.
But Pac was moving different back then, man, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you got to be careful how you moving out here. There's plenty of guys that we know that they just a little too much of this, and before you know it, they
A little
gone.
too much of that can get
Yeah.
you in some trouble.
Quick to
Make
pop
you lose
off.
your life.
It really
Yeah,
can.
and Pac
Yeah.
got killed ultimately because he beat a dude up.
Right.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Had an
'cause
impulse.
Impulse.
Had an impulse decision.
Yeah.
Was hyped up from the Tyson fight. Didn't know when he put hands on this dude, that was literally him signing his death sentence
That was
that
it.
evening.
Yeah.
And
Romans 6:23 says the wages of sin is death. So there's a wage that you can catch for being out in these streets a little longer than you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
You can only experience so much mercy for so much time.
Right.
Before the inevitable takes place, especially when you out here, dealing in this gang bang and drug dealing world, if you will. So
Streets.
and it's sad because me and Tupac were born in 1971. So I'm 51. If he was still here, he would have had turned 52 back in August of this year.
Wow.
And which
So
still
much life.
fairly
So
young.
much life.
And this guy, and it's sad because he had just transitioned into his acting career, not just rapping, but he was just as a good actor as he was a rapper.
Yeah.
And he was really evolving, and it's really unfortunate, that his mouth got him killed.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did.
Dang.
It
It's sad
did,
to
man.
see, especially as a kid. Of course, Tupac. Of course, I wasn't alive when he died. Came a couple years later, but as a kid, Tupac was like almost like the mythical creature. Like he's the one that got killed early, but like left so much impact. So growing up, you listening to Tupac, everything that I seen, watching interviews like that, and to be like almost his age now that he was is crazy and really puts it in perspective. Like
Right. He did all that in that
he
short
did,
amount
bro.
of time.
He did.
had.
He laid so much of an impact. His music, his all his timeless, his movies, all that, his acting and juice. Like this dude did all this stuff in such a short amount of
period of
time.
time.
And to see, it just sucked that he didn't get that second chance. So young, because you got guys like John Morant, young guys around his age now. You see how they're acting. That's how Pac was acting.
Yeah.
Just out here young,
Awesome,
you top of the
immature,
world, top of the world. You got all this money, all this fame, clout, whatever. You
Right.
run around like Superman.
But his impact is crazy. Like if you lined up 10 people right now in America or anywhere, how many of y'all think wouldn't know who Tupac is?
Bro,
Maybe
everybody knows.
one,
Maybe one, maybe two.
maybe
Who
one.
knows?
Like, but that
Yeah.
goes to show you the impact.
The impact.
Like
Yeah.
there's those certain amount of people that have that name. Martin Luther King. Everyone knows who Martin Luther King
Sure.
is. Everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. I feel like everybody knows who Tupac was.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
Or like
and-
Bob Marley. I would say
Bob.
like
Yeah.
I would say more like Bob or like his type of influence because like especially in American culture, everybody knows who Tupac Shakur is,
Yeah.
and of course Bob Marley, he's the most famous Jamaican ever. Of course, it spilled over to the United States and everywhere else around the world. So to see these guys lay an impact, I think Bob was around his 40s, early 40s, late 30s when
Yep.
he died.
Yep.
But a guy like Tupac was 25 years old. This dude
25,
this
man.
dude was super duper
It's a
young.
baby, man.
Super young. I'm saying, so to see him not get that second chance sucks because we don't know where his life could have took him. Because he could have, not only is his acting great, he could have went into activism because dude had a powerful voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he had a lot of charisma. He could talk. His parents were Black Panthers, so
Yep.
to see his life get cut short and we finally see some justice, somebody going to jail for it. I think it's good to see.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for the family because I've watched his dad in interviews and stuff like that, and
Okay.
his dad was talking about how he had to put chapstick on his son's lips when he was before he died because he was in the hospital for like 4 or 5 days.
yeah.
Talking about how he was unresponsive, seeing tubes going through him, talking in his ear, like he had no control. So for him to finally see an arrest be made definitely makes me happy.
Yeah.
And
me
he
too.
literally was your age, 25
5 years old, out of here.
and accomplished so much in such
Yeah.
a short period of
Such
time.
a little time, yeah.
But how much more, if he was still here 27 years later,
Right.
how many more, CDs he would have done, how many
Right.
more movies he would have done.
Yeah.
Right.
He would have been, I think, one of the best to ever do it.
And imagine if Pac was like a believer in Christ and a Christian. He would have been one of the greatest preachers of all time.
man.
You know what I'm
Charisma.
saying? Like
So
if he ever like
smart.
changed, his
Persona.
Yeah.
like he would have been one of the
But
greatest.
even his persona, like I think Tupac is the model rapper of because if you look at Pac back in the day, of course he was talking conscious, he was talking gangster too, but like the look, tattoos,
Yeah.
he had
Shaved his head,
he had the nose ring, he had the
right.
the jewelry on, you talking about Versace designer, he was like the first one really on that, doing it like how you see it now. So, we're feeling his impact now in 2023. Of course it's in a different way, but
Sure.
Tupac is he's like the model rapper, kind of like Jordan's the model basketball player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's the GOAT in his right, and you know, it's just sad how things went. But
It is.
It is.
like I said, the family's getting justice though. That's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Justice
That's all
to serve.
Justice to serve.
Justice
That's all
to
you need is
serve.
justice.
Yep.
He can really rest in peace now
That's
and,
good.
and go from there. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's it for us.
Waiting on Biggie's killer to come out.
man.
That's
That
it.
probably never gonna
Biggie,
happen.
Biggie
Yeah.
Killer,
Yeah.
he might be killed.
No, it's crazy. I saw an interview. They said that I watched a video. They said the people in the car who saw the car pull up. They said the guy who was a gunman for Biggie. They said he was wearing a kufi and a bow tie and a suit. Like they said it could
Really?
have been like a real hit. Like
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll never find him then.
Jeez.
they said it was like a real
And
hit.
it's sad because that hit took place literally about a year after Pac.
Yeah.
Because at the time, those guys were running rap between Pac and Biggie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
and it was sad to see both of them. I think Biggie was born in '73, and he's been gone now for about 26, 25 years.
Yeah, I think he was 24.
Yeah, and it's sad that, especially
Super
when it's
young.
black on black crime.
Yeah.
I want to say the last time I checked, 89% of every black man that gets murdered, it's another black man doing it.
Yep.
Almost 90%. So
Yep.
Yeah.
that needs to change.
And guess
Yeah.
what? Just like the fight, and just like Tupac, he out here fight, run his mouth. And that's how it usually goes in the streets. Fight,
Yep.
run his
Yep.
mouth, beef, girl, money, whatever. It's just like a lot of stuff's avoidable. It's just don't even put yourself in those positions in the first place. That's why I'm glad I'm a civilian. I'm glad I ain't out here running
I'm a
around.
law-abiding citizen,
I'm a, yeah,
bro.
civilian. I'm
Hey,
glad
that's
I
it.
am.
Law-abiding
Abiding,
citizen.
Yeah, I'm glad I ain't got to worry about
Pillar
none
in the
of that.
community.
That's it.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? Huh?
Trying to make this bitch show come out.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end it with I preached a message called "Built to Last" the last couple of weeks, and the first thing I talked about Sunday was a couple of weeks ago was talking about walking in boldness. The Bible says in the book of Proverbs to be bold as a lion, and I like that, because the word bold means to have courage and confidence. So really nailed that home about one of the ways that you last in this life is that you have to be bold. The second thing I talked about was walking in patience. I always say no patience, no promise.
Yeah.
And the last thing I talked about was that you got to walk in the word. Even Jesus, and when Satan confronted him and told him, well, if you're the Son of God, turn that rock into bread.
Yeah.
And Jesus said in Matthew 4:4, he said, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth from the mouth of God. And what's interesting is Jesus was quoting from Deuteronomy 8:3. So I believe that in order for you and I to last in this life, we fight back with the word of God.
Yeah.
And like I love how even the Bible says in Isaiah 54:17, it says, no weapon formed against us that it cannot prosper, which means that it can't succeed. So we have to have that same mentality that it is written that in Romans 8:31, that if God be for me, who can be against me? So remember, when you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, how you fight back, you have to fight back with the word of God. Stay bold, stay patient. And I believe, like the word of God says in the book of Hebrews, it talks about how because Abraham patiently endured, he obtained the promise, which he was able to have his son Isaac. But, when we don't see God moving in certain situations, if we can just learn how to be patient, even Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. So I want to encourage you. You will last, but do those three things. Stay bold, stay patient, and continue to stand on God's word. And remember Isaiah 55:11, it says that his word will not return back void.
That's
Right.
good. That's
Amen.
great right there. One of the things that really stood out to me was just walking in boldness, man. I feel like sometimes we can be a situation or things that we go through in our lives. Sometimes it can make you feel timid. You know what I mean? Like, especially now, I feel like timid is at an all-time high.
Jesus.
Being, people not being kind of frail and not really wanting to ruffle the feathers. I feel like even in my personal life, I feel like I'm stepping into that mold of, listen, we're gonna walk bold. We're gonna,
right.
we're gonna get some things hashed out, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's where good starts to come. Where when you're walking in boldness, especially boldness in Christ, putting
That's
our
good.
confidence in
That's
Him. That right there can be a complete game changer for your
can be.
entire life. And so,
Literally.
that's really what's gonna make you be built to last, is understand you got to be bold. We all played sports and football and still stuff like that. If we ever walked on the field and we already thought, man, they about to whoop us tonight, you're already defeated.
Done.
You know what I'm saying?
Done.
If there'd be certain times, if I got a certain route across the middle, as a receiver, you understand when you're going across the middle, you got safeties and backers ready to take
Sure.
your head off,
Literally.
especially back when I was playing. This before
right.
the targeting and everything like that
Yeah.
nowadays. But I mean, if I run that route timid, I feel like you get hurt more when you're
will.
timid. Boy, if I come across
Absolutely.
bold and confident,
Yeah.
9 times
pop
out of
back
10,
up.
you're gonna be just fine.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's how we have to take it in life. You
Yeah,
know, being
that's right.
bold in life. I'm not coming across the middle soft. I'm running across that thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have my head on a swivel.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm coming across there with some intention to be bold. So
That's
that
right.
was great.
That's
Amen.
good. Yeah. You said your second point was patience.
Patience.
Yep. And you said this way back, but no patience, no promise.
promise.
That's what really hit home to me.
Right.
Because when you walk around in patience, you can deal with a whole bunch of stuff. You can deal with the
Right.
work stuff. You can deal with the kids tripping, whatever you got going on in life.
Sure.
But if you don't walk around in that patience, that's when you react on impulse, like we were talking about with Biggie and Tupac. And
Yeah.
you know, your patience is really a form of self-control, and that's crazy because those two things are both a part of the fruits of the spirit.
They are.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what really stood out to me a lot.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
I would say patience too. Patience is definitely a virtue. I feel like a lot of people don't get to where they need to get to because of lack of patience.
thereof.
You know, I think that
Yeah.
you know, and for anything, it could be for life, it could be for the next move, for tomorrow. Patience for the next hour. You know,
sure.
patience for promotion, whatever else that comes to it. If you don't have patience in this world, life is gonna really give you the hands. Like, straight up. So you know, you gotta sit back here and know, you know, if it's not my time now, my time's gonna come. And
Right.
you know,
Right.
you'd always say it. If God blesses your neighbor, He's in the neighborhood. You know,
That's right.
you may see people getting promoted, and you may not be getting to that place. But the
Right.
main thing is you sitting back and talking to God and finding that peace with the patience. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's good.
And also too being bold. Like, that's another thing. Zay, you're real about that. When it came to like playing sports, if you think, man, I'm gonna get hurt, you're gonna get hurt.
gonna get hurt.
That's how it was. You
Yeah.
come into the game like, man, they got some big dudes. I'm,
Sure.
come across the middle. You're not gonna catch that ball,
No.
and you're getting smacked,
Yeah.
And you
getting
get
took out
hit.
the game.
Yeah. I'm not gonna see the
You know what I'm
field.
saying? You gotta stand
Yeah.
on it. You gotta be
Yeah.
bold. You gotta have your feet firm, and
That's right.
and take everything that comes with it. You know, people want good, but they don't want the bad.
Right.
You gotta take the good with the bad. And so part of that is being bold and being patient, and your time will come. So
Right,
That's it, man. That's
Yeah.
great.
And that's literally how, and I shared Sunday, that's literally how, that's what gave David the momentum to defeat Goliath. It wasn't the stones, it was his boldness. Because he told him, he said, this day, he said, I'm going to defeat you.
Yeah.
Then he goes into the next verse and says it again, this day, I'm going to
This
take
day.
your head off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. And we have
Yep.
to learn, like Romans 4:17, to call those things that be not as though
Though
they
they
are.
are.
And nobody even gave David a chance, but he walked away that day victorious. And that's why I said Sunday, in some cases, you need to write back. And I love the fact that after Goliath told him, you come to me with a javelin, a spear, and a sword, he said, but I come to you in the name of the God of Israel, the God of the universe. And so we all know the rest of the story. So stay bold, stay patient, and remember, stay confident. Don't lose your courage regardless of what you might be facing. And remember this, 2 Timothy 1:7, God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So let's not be timid in this season. Let's stay bold.
That's
Yep,
right.
that's good.
That's great. Hey, also remember, click that subscribe button as well and a notification bell every single time so that way you are able to see us on our podcast every single Friday. Still Strong Podcast, episode number 34 is a good one. We hope that you guys have a great week out there. Of course, go Steelers as per usual. And we'll see y'all next week.
Blessings.
it was